Go Figure TV. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Y'all Mean the Revolution, and who is behind these devastating California fires. Before we get into that, be sure to wipe your feet. That means hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, support the platform, y'all. Well, revolution is a way of life, and revolution is for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I got some late night revolutionary dinner, late night revolutionary classes. Y'all still up? Okay, just checking. Let's get right into the message tonight.
Well, this guy has a very interesting theory to what's happening with these LA fires.
We don't know how it started. There, winds.
All the gay people in LA.
Okay,
there we go.
Okay.
We got the
Revolutionary salute.
And hey,
This is on
he might
purpose,
not
and
be that far off, as the discussion right now has become extremely political, as a lot of people, including even Elon Musk, just came out and told you that this could have been prevented. As Joe Rogan has warned about this, same as Donald Trump, who on this show literally said this is a major issue that needs to be addressed 3 months ago. And it was only made that much worse by government. And now we're dealing with an absolutely devastated California state, as some of the most expensive waterfront properties on the face of this earth have just largely disappeared, as the video footage of the damage that has been done here is astronomical. It is shocking. It is something that, of course, should make people humbled to understand just how temporary life and the things in it are, as of course people's multi-million-dollar homes were left in smoldering ruins in just a matter of moments, as of course the fire has spread incredibly quick. And these types of LA fires are what a lot of people are now describing as the most destructive in LA history, as Elon Musk has recently come out and has said that we could have saved a lot of the people, a lot of the property, and prevented this tragedy from happening. But we didn't because of big government. And by looking into this particular story, he does make a very good argument.
We really need to have fire breaks, and we need to clear the brush back away from houses, and we need to make sure the reservoirs are full. These are all obvious things.
15 minutes.
But due to a bunch of environmental rulings, you can't actually do that in California. So they're not allowed to do the fire breaks, and they're not allowed to push the brush back away from houses, because it might hurt some, like red-legged frog or something like that. It's like some sort of creature. Usually a creature you've never heard of that is preventing this from occurring. There's like this fish called the smelt, for example, so we have far more freshwater runoff into the ocean than we should, really, and on the theory that it helps this one little fish that likes a slightly briny freshwater saltwater mix. And if we keep more freshwater, then the smelt fish will not be happy. But there's no actual evidence that the smelt fish is going to be unhappy if we keep a bit more fresh water. In fact, so we should keep more fresh water, keep the reservoirs full, and just have some sensible fire breaks and move the brush away from houses. That's just an example of, like, we've saved a lot of trouble, a lot of tragedy in LA if we'd done that.
Yep, imagine if we didn't have government bureaucrats literally making things up out of thin air, making themselves relevant, and giving themselves an excuse for you to give them your money. As this larger situation is something that Elon Musk has been talking about a lot. I think he is absolutely correct here, as he has also just announced that he is going to be providing free Starlink terminals to all those people affected in the LA area, as one news crew is literally using it to provide us live coverage of the events.
Only reason that you're able to see us right now is because of a Starlink connection that we just got today. That's the only reason we're able to hear and communicate with you guys right now, because there's absolutely no cell service at all in this whole area.
This says in the making of this video, 17,000 acres have been destroyed, ruined, and burnt down in the process of this huge, horrific tragedy that sadly is affecting a lot of people in this very heavily Democratic political area that Adam Carolla now is going to be arguing in the face of this event is going to have a lot of people changing their minds about who they're going to be voting for in the next kind of election. As it's not just the larger kind of DEI efforts. It's not just the gross negligence. It's not just stopping and preventing actual fire prevention techniques here, but it's also going to be, as Adam Carolla describes it, the permitting process, which is a ridiculous process in my opinion, as some counties and states have absolutely taken full advantage of the taxpayer during these scenarios to have them figuratively jump through hoops just to be able to get permission and a permit that the state's not even liable for when it comes to building and constructing something on their property.
Because here's the deal. Alan Hamill and Suzanne Summers moved because they could not get a permit to rebuild their home of 40 years on the ocean on PCH, right? So here's what's going to happen. Let me just give you guys a little primer of what's going to happen.
And that, of course, is not the only reason why a lot of people will be looking at the Democrats and being like, are you kidding me? You're ridiculous. Why are you torturing me and making my life miserable through this larger kind of permit process? But also, more specifically, let's be honest here. The Democratic leadership does not have a grip on this larger situation. And a lot of people are, I think, rightfully pointing fingers at them for their mismanagement of all of this. As the governor of California wasn't really good at Donald Trump actually bringing up a lot of these very important points, as Donald Trump has been warning Gavin Newsom since 2019 to do something about this very specific situation that was just waiting to unfold. And as it's unfolding now, Gavin Newsom, of course, didn't take any accountability. As the former CIA student Anderson Cooper slightly, very gently, in an extremely soft way, ask a question referencing to some of the Trump criticism that he has received.
I hate to even ask this question, but the president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, it's people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't.
Whatever,
I stood next to the president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden. And he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to.
Yeah, the president of the United States that also announced he had a great grandson in the middle of this raging presser where he took no questions from the media. As we have to understand that this is the same failed political leadership that literally sent important firefighter equipment to Ukraine. Just about
Come on, nobody's talking about all of the firefighting equipment that California sent to Ukraine to make sure Ukraine buildings don't burn, to make sure the Ukrainians, civilians, don't have to worry about their neighborhoods burning down like California neighborhoods are burnt down now. Oh, yes. Thanks, Zelensky, for this. He got all of your firefighting equipment and your money and your water that you need to fight it.
Months ago, as the U.S. ambassador of Ukraine announced that they were excited to take in engine trucks from California, as Donald Trump also now continued on his barrage against Gavin Newsom by saying no water in the fire hydrants, no money in FEMA. This is what Joe Biden is leaving me. Thanks, Joe. As also, let's not forget about how California was focusing on diversifying the fire department, as they were literally more concerned about crass conversations and making the fire department less white and less male than they were about actually preventing a lot of these fires. As of course, this is a fake AI rendering that at Neuro posted on social media, but it's not too far away from the truth here. As of course, this is the current leadership of the LA Fire Department that overwhelmingly made sure that they were from specific racial and preference demographics that, of course, weren't white straight males that previously dominated the fire department and actually took care of it in an efficient way. There's also video footage now being shared of some individuals within the fire department using handbags to collect water and throw water at fires. Again, I haven't independently verified this. We don't know if this is some kind of like skit or joke here. We hope it is, but with the way that things are going, It probably isn't. As we also have to understand here, the LA Department of Water and Power CEO makes about $750,000 per year, and then she can't even adequately explain why LA ran out of water. This as the people of California also are going to have to deal with a lot of insurance policies and claims that are going to be very difficult to deal with. As of course, Rob Schneider just put out his frustrations on State Farm as he is mad at them canceling insurance policies for Californians, as there is a community note fact check here that reads that California lawmakers have imposed price controls on insurance companies in the state, which made it impossible for the price coverage to be done accurately as a result of it. And that's why the insurance companies have been forced to leave the state, because the state hasn't allowed them to, of course, operate in a way that doesn't mean a major loss for them. This, as the future president of the United States that is yet not inaugurated, is continuing to go after Gavin Newsom, which in my opinion rightfully deserves all the criticism he could get right now, as clearly it is very obvious that he has prioritized superficial virtues of skin color and orientation over actual capable individuals within the government that could have handled this situation totally differently. Now, can you blame him that there's a fire shirt? No, even though there's some larger questions here about what really happened. How did
I'm getting sick of white dudes trying to sneak in that things were so great when straight white males was controlling everything. Get the fuck over yourself sometime. Some of these straight white males are running stories trying to sneak in pop shots. You see, they don't understand. When they keep doing that, that's the victim mentality that they keep talking about. Why the fuck is you straight white males playing victim all the fucking time? We get it. They hire some blacks, some Mexicans, some women, some gays. Give me a fucking break with the victimhood. I'm gonna have to go on a campaign and tell white males, straight white males, stop playing fucking victim all goddamn day. Shit.
Did these fires start? As you got people on the left saying automatically global warming. I was at a town hall meeting here yesterday against water fluoridation. There's a couple lefties there that are for it for some reason. And those are the same people talking about, oh, look, we didn't give enough money to the government. Therefore, the climate is what it is right now. And therefore, we have these fires. And again, people do have to remember that there are actual arsonists out there, crazy people out there. And I think the craziest of ones are the ones that want more government, more bureaucracy, more diversity hires, more DEI efforts that, of course, don't amount to anything other than a huge waste of money.
As long as it takes.
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. I mean, virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You know, you talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they get millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop, it's nothing. But for California, it would take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him when he was governor. We worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem.
Yep, as a lot of people are kind of asking themselves, why am I in this particular mess? Why that this happened the way that it did, as clearly I think a lot of people are left bewildered, confused, and pissed off here. This is also going to change a lot of people with the way that they vote, with the way that they live, as sadly, rebuilding is going to be extremely difficult, especially with the larger kind of permitting, especially with the larger kind of bureaucracy and red tape that, of course, all this government creates here. As even Andrew Huberman just came out and released this video on social media, which, according to him, is now videos of people starting fires.
People are lighting fires now. You can see they lit a fire. These guys, not all the people there, but some of those guys lit that fire. And these guys they're actually, the trees caught fire and then the palms are catching fire. So civilians are now lighting fires down in the so-called, flats around Santa Monica, Venice.
Yeah, so if random civilians are now starting the fires, maybe it wasn't that we didn't give more money to the government in order to make the weather gooder that's responsible for all of this. Because again, we don't know exactly what happened here. We don't know the direct cause. We don't know what actually initially created the first fire that started this whole huge blaze here. But it's fair to say that this is a mess of a situation, an awful situation for a state that is already burdened by huge sums of immigration that they openly let into their own state, by huge deficits, by huge financial problems, and now the major issues that will come with insurance, that will come with government, that will come with trying to rebuild here. Man, that is an absolute mess of a problem that has been created and inflicted by man-made horrors of government. That's my opinion. If you agree with me, share this video with your friends and family.
Some scary shit. Get out of here.
Sai pra aquela que escreveu na estreia. Não é sempre tipo.
First of all, guys, I'm not saying this because I think I should tick the box to say it, but my heart and thoughts go out to all the people affected over in Los Angeles fires at the moment. These wildfires are absolutely crazy. And I've just seen like a recent news outlet that, they're saying that it's just not stopping, it's getting worse and worse and everyone's trying to evacuate. People are losing loved ones. It's absolutely horrifying. And I'm so sorry to hear this. So yeah, my thoughts go out to you. And in fact, because of the circumstances, there's a couple of clips on that I'm going to show you today around the fires that I didn't know whether I should, like, morally, I didn't know whether I should be showing you. I was like, should I show you? It's also what I do on this channel, right? I cover UAPs. I just hope that people don't think that I'm trying to monetize over unfortunate events, okay? Because I'm not. I just find this particular area of the UAPs interesting, as you clearly know, and something's come up. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips regarding the Los Angeles fires, a UAP being spotted in the sky. And then we're going to move on to a few other clips, which it's like the bar is being raised every week, right? It's just, oh, fucking hang on a second. Again, what's being shown, what's being shared to me seems like it's getting clearer and clearer. Like the footage is getting clearer and clearer. The images are getting more bold. The UAPs are getting bigger, clearer, more like in your face. I don't know whether it's the fakes are becoming more, or the AI is becoming more, or the the UAPs are becoming a little bit more, well, look at us. Now you know that we're here. We're not going to hide as much. What is this? What the actual F? Live on TV. Eton, and the fires over in Eton. Look at this. Right? Let's just hang on. Keep in mind what you're seeing here, right? Look at this. Look at the size of these buildings. Look at the speed of this thing. Now, at the moment, like literally right now, there are planes that are going over the sea, picking up a whole load of water, flying over and dropping the water over. This is not it. That is not it. Now, you could say it's a moth on the lens, it's an insect on the lens. I really don't think so. It seems like it's changing its course. The trajectory is it's veering upwards once it gets a little, like a certain distance from the trees. I mean, that is some speed that's coming out of. But it comes from nothing, right? It comes from nothing here. And so if it was just the one, you'd be thinking, okay, that's a bit odd. It could be a UAP, right? But we need more info. We need more context. We need more of these examples to say, okay, well, there's something strange going on. That in itself could be like, yeah, but look at this. Now, I understand that once you've got smoke and orange flames, yellow, you might be able to, it might interfere with certain lightings in the sky. But this is odd. 2 UFOs seen on news coverage of Los Angeles fires. Look at this. What?
What is this purple thing right here? You tell me. What the fuck is going on? It's spinning.
The fuck is that?
And then watch when I pan over here in a second. And this is all live screen footage from Los Angeles.
The fuck is that shit?
That is swirling.
And then what the fuck is that shit, bro? What is that?
Yeah, I got the map with you.
What is this purple thing?
Mate, I'm guaranteeing you, I've not even seen that bit. I saw this pink bit, and that's what I do. When people send me stuff, I go, oh, Christ, I'm going to save that. I haven't even seen this blue thing.
And this is all live screen footage from Los Angeles.
The fuck is that shit? Spinning around. And then what the fuck
And then what the fuck is that shit, bro? What is that?
Is it a reflection? No, man, because look at the distance of the camera.
Yeah, I got the map.
Well, hang on. Hang on a second. What the hell? That doesn't seem like a reflection of anything down here. Hang on, wait. Yeah, because that's going behind the cloud.
What is this purple thing right here?
What the hell, man? And that's not all. Again, this is something I've just literally seen the screenshot, so I'm going to show you. Another alleged dark UFO spotted in the smoke during Los Angeles Palisades fire. By the way, the other one was from I like to call out because it's only fair. Oh, Shorty again. Thanks, mate. He's like my own private, like, I don't know what you call it, PA, personal assistant. Like, cheers, Shorty. Red Panda Koala, Koala, sorry. Red Panda Koala. The other one was the Tupacabra, Tupacabra. Right, look at this one, this dark shadow.
What about something strange in the sky? It's above the fire right now in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
It's a kite?
Oh, so it's a kite? Who would be flying a kite right now like that? It does look like a kite.
It's not a kite. It's not. It's just flying around.
It's, mate, are you kidding me? Look at the size of this thing. Fair enough, it's black, so you can't really, and there's no color into it, so you can't really decipher how far this thing is. But look at the size of that thing, mate. It's the size as a building. Okay, the building's further away. And people are going to say it's like that thing from, what's it called, Harry Potter. Can't remember what you call it. Never watched the Harry Potters.
It's not a kite.
Seen the first one.
Fly away.
It was enough for me. Sorry if I've offended some people. I should give it a chance, really. It's just I thought he was a crap magician, like wizard, right? The only thing he can do is disappear, and he gets given the cloak. She was better than him, the little blonde girl. Anyway, that is odd. I gotta be honest, it's moving like a kite. It does look like a kite. I'm gonna put that down as a kite, but what do you think? Do you think it's something else? The only thing that's telling me it's not a kite is the sheer size of it. And yeah, fair enough. Well, the size of it, and also, what are you doing flying a kite when that stuff's going on at the moment? Like, you know, it just doesn't compute. This is from Red Panda Koala again. UFO seen flying off the ocean towards Los Angeles. Fires on beach cams. So remember the first one I showed you is like a white orb type thing, right? With a trail. It's just shot off out of like the fire. Now look at this. This is very similar. It comes from up here, I think. Here it is now. It's starting here, and it's going to come up all the way around and come around here, right? Let's start again. Here it is. Now, you could say, oh, that's a drone, but you've got to remember that the controls of a drone, first of all, there's no colors on it, but the controls of a drone tend to go, you know, you've got it pretty good, pretty advanced to do two controls. Most people, most hobbyists, they go up, left, right, down, forward, back. Right? That's how they control it. It's very, you've got to have a lot of experience to sort of maneuver, like swinging maneuvers in the sky. No, because also there's no need. Usually you just go forward and you pan slightly to, you know, get used to it, panning across, get a nice little view. Not maneuvers like this. It's strange that it's got a trail. Now, I think the trail is to do with the frames per second of this camera, the quality. But again, it's moving very fast, very strange. It's a pretty big size as well, I would say, when it goes down towards the beach there. But now this is where it gets really, really weird, because there's another video of the same area, but they zoom in. And this is where you see a shape of it. I don't know, it's something odd about it. It's, when I say wings, like solid wings. Yeah, like a plane, or look, see, it's shifting like that. And it's spinning upside down. Birds don't do that. Birds don't like fly upside down, spin around, barrel roll. They don't do that. And also, that's a bloody big bird. I thought dinosaurs were dead, right? Look at the size of that thing, mate. Now, somebody also said in comments, that's a pretty beefy drone if it can fly around that easily in that wind. You can hear the wind going. You can see the trees going, right? You can't really fly drones in the wind like that. So moving away from that now, the things that I've collected and saved, thanks again for you guys. Prague, capital of Czech Republic, January 2025. Witnesses claim they saw multiple orbs, UAPs, sitting stationary in the night sky. Clearly, this event is expanding slowly unequivocally across the globe. Check it out. This one's from Exiled Earthing over on X. Look at this. Look at these. They're not lanterns, right? Like we've got the wind blowing this way. Okay, fair enough. It's quite still. But look. Look at that. So hang on. That seemed like the first bit. So that's the first bit because the smoke's just gone up. So we've got 1, 2, 3 here. Are they moving? 1, 2, 3. Let's just. Okay, so they're moving. The smoke is moving this way, and then the orbs seem to be moving this way because those three seem like they've gone from 1, 2, 3, and it's shrunk closer together. Am I right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, triangles, ladies and gentlemen, that I keep on going on about. And then we push over to here. And so we've got maybe this one being pushed across, these clumping together, and this one being pushed across. So a later date, we've got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, okay, so we still got this one. So one appears. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then later on. So I'm assuming because of the smoke, it's gone up and across, right? But this could have been a completely later date or time. But that's weird, man. It is weird. And why have they gone from the obvious, from white to blue? They've gone from white to blue. And look, hang on a second. Now, is this got anything to do with the temperature of the camera settings? Because even the water now, we go from white orbs, white reflections, and I know these are coming from the lights here. But then if we go from here, we've now got blue reflections. Right? Is that reflection coming from there? Hang on. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. This clump here. This is odd. So really, these are a hell of a lot brighter. To be doing that reflection, these are a hell of a lot brighter than we can actually see through this camera lens. And I've noticed that myself, I sometimes look up in the sky and see something really bright, and then I go in my camera and it just looks a little bit shit. Just like a dot, like a brightish white dot. So I'm just wondering why, because of the reflection here, these could be really illuminating quite a lot of light. Anyway, this is recorded in New Jersey. We're back to New Jersey. Somebody was tweeted me earlier. I've yet to like it or reply. What's happened in New Jersey? It just seems to have gone quiet, right? We've gone from video after video, everyone covering it, including myself, about the drones and the orbs, and then all of a sudden, nothing, right? Is it because they've gone, or is it because it's just the norm now? And I think it's just the norm. From what I can gather, and clearly from this video, it's just the norm, right? We've New Jersey and other places in that area, we've just got UFOs now flapping about, right? So this is from Kappa that Shorty sent me. The channel Kappa, CAPPA, UAP drone recorded in New Jersey, the 5th of the 1st. I don't know why you do that. Seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years. Okay. The 5th of January, 2025. Look at this. Now I've got another angle. This is a UAP over in New Jersey. What? Now, it's funny. It's funny about that because the video that I did, not the last video, but the video before, when I covered about the UAPs, there was John Lennon who was talking about when he saw a UAP or UFO, as he calls it, and he says he was big, like a disc like that, and they had like 1, 2, 3, all of these lovely lights at the bottom of it, and the red light at the top. Yeah, look, he was saying there was lights around it at the bottom, and there was a red light at the top. Go back and check it out. I'll try and remember to leave a link or something, right? He literally says, he definitely said white lights underneath it and a red light at the top. There you go. Is that what he saw? Is this what he saw? I'll try and find the other angle now for you. This is in Cydonia. No, this is in Cydonia. What the? This is a different one. What the hell, man? They're calling it a mothership in Cydonia. Maybe I got confused with this one. Again, it looks the same. Just glowing more. What the actual? That's too slow for a plane. Hang on a second. Is this real? Is this real? Again, my PA here, Shorty, tagging me in on this. World X News, a mysterious UFO captured on camera, leaving many to wonder, could it be something alien? Oh, mate, that bit there reminds me of what we've just been seeing on the beach. What the? Hang on, have I shown you this? I haven't shown you that. I don't think I've. What the? I know I've seen it and I've been amazed, but I think I don't know if I've shown you this. I'm sorry, but I don't think I have. It's like this bit here reminds me, like, obviously a UFO, and then sort of like almost, you know, like these plasmoids which are morphing into different shapes, right? So it's there like that, showing us itself, right? Showing its colors and its beauty, and then just maybe zipping away into a different parallel universe. I know my mind's going like right there, right? Now it's just zipped away into a different bloody universe, but the aftermath is here. And then I'm just thinking, as it goes on, I'm thinking, is this like a rocket with the trajectory back into our atmosphere or something? But it seems like it's got like a plate on the front of it of some sort. And then just vanishes. Like, what is going on in this world, man? Slovakia. Look at this, mate, in Slovakia. The Red Rover sent me this over an X. Thank you so much. And it's from the channel Disclosure Party.
Pozri. Ó, tak predsa len prišli mimozemšťania na SMPčku. Pozrite sa na to. O polnoci.
What the hell was that dripping? And I've got an amazing video to show you in a second, right? And if this is real, it's on another level, okay? But let's just look at this again a second. If you say this is a drone, you need to have a little word with yourself and get out, all right? It's not a drone. What? Like, it's not even a flare. It's not a flare. What are you dripping, mate? And yesterday, by the way, not yesterday, the last video I did, which was the top 5 paranormal reaction, there was 2 UFO videos in that, and there was one UFO which showed like night vision of these UFOs, and they were dripping something, mate. It was like from the game bloody Stranded. These UFOs were just stood there, black in the white sky, and they were just dripping stuff. Okay, and I think like a missile hit it or something. It did nothing. It was just like whatever. And they carried on just dripping these. Go and check out, man. I'm saying, I know I'm plugging my old videos in, like not old, but you know what I mean. But you've got to, man. Look at this, UFO Mania. This is the X channel, filmed off the coast of California in 2019. U.S. Navy shoots at UFO. UFO shoots back. See how I just moved away slightly there? Here it is. It's like, what? What are you doing? Wait, these bullets here. Let me just say, right? I'm jumping to conclusions. I'm assuming a lot here, but I think that each one of those bullets are like that long. Yeah, like the bullet head is like that long. Like one of those would just rinse a house. And this thing just like, what are you doing? Oh, what? And shooting back. But what is this shooting? You can see individual bullets here, right? But what is this thing shooting? And it like, and then just sucks back. What? Okay, I've got to step back. Is it a computer game? It's black and white. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I've played many computer games. Although this looks quite right. We've only just managed to get water physics, okay, guys? Water physics like this, because this looks old. If it is, it's old footage. I'm sorry, but water physics like that hadn't been around until recently. Far Cry did it a good few years ago, but that is good water physics. I don't think that's fake, or if it is fake, it's brand new, made to look old. And all this, mate. What, mate? California again? Stunning UFO sightings over Oxnard, California? I know I've probably pronounced that wrong.
That's some scary shit. You get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. That's some scary shit. You get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, the skeptics out there, right? Just try to think to yourself. Have a bit of fun with your imagination right now. Imagine if this was real. It could be, right? I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's real. This guy thinks it is.
That's some scary shit. You get the fuck out of here.
Now, it could be a building. It could be, you know, but that thing seems to be moving, right?
That's some scary shit. You get the fuck.
And I don't know what a building like that would be doing in a neighborhood that looks like this. With the fog and all, mate. This is straight from a movie. But he's saying, like, this is scary shit. Imagine seeing that. Mate, if you saw that in your lifetime, that and if you knew that that was a UAP, a UFO, that would change your whole perception on life. You'd just be going through life like this, and you would see that UAP, and your life would just go, bah, right? You think about shit so differently. Okay. I hope you liked it. If you do like this sort of stuff, please make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be covering it all.
I have an insane update for you, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about what's going on currently in California, and actually, it's getting more ridiculous by the hour. Now we're talking about Malibu. Now we're talking about actually a considerable amount of area in Southern California could be affected. We're going to get into all that. We're also going to get into some rather interesting videos that people have been taking. Some stuff happening in the sky as well. We'll get into that. I mean, honestly, looking at this right here, this is Malibu. Looks more like from the movie Terminator 2. And if you remember the scene in the beginning of the movie, at nighttime, they're like all hiding, of course. And it pretty much looks like this, though. All right, let me play this. Not much left.
They worry about you.
As you can see in its wake. And a lot of people are not aware. I mean, this thing is really going to go far potentially. You've just overnight, it's covered a lot more area. California map, Los Angeles evacuation orders. This is from Fox Los Angeles.
I heard something yesterday about a large deposit of uranium being found somewhere in California. I gotta track that story down. We'll look at that tomorrow. But one of the world's largest deposits of uranium being found in the California area. Wow, wouldn't they love to get their hands on that uranium while moving everybody around?
Los Angeles. You have Palisades, Eaton, Hearst, Lydia, and you can see here this area is all covered. And actually, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you some of these other maps, some advanced maps on the wind patterns, the heat patterns, and a lot of other things. And it looks like it could end up covering a massive amount of area, even getting into potentially other states, if you could even imagine that. I'm going to show you there's a massive wind pattern underneath this, right basically down below this area, way down. I can't show it. This is not the map. I'm going to show it to you later. But there's a huge amount of wind just basically south of this, southeast of this. And it's a massive amount of wind in a huge amount of area. And it even goes over into another state. So I'll show you that later. But this could be the biggest thing we've ever seen. Essentially unprecedented. This is Palisades here. You can see kind of what it looked like. This is from
Revolutionary salute to our brother Randy Thomas for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is a way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family. Salute to you.
Very early in the morning today, like 3 a.m. This is the map. Could be bigger than that already. But like I said, I'm going to show you a ton of stuff as we get into this video. We're going to get into some of the strange things people are finding. I mean, they're using purses. Now, of course, again, I already saw the community notes on this. So this apparently isn't a woman's purse you just picked up on the side of the road to use to put out fires, okay? This is supposedly a purse that they have on these fire trucks. I don't know why they would have a purse, but okay, whatever. So let's just play this.
Women's handbags? Filling up women's handbags to put out fires. Look at this. What in the world? LAFD fire.
Goodness gracious, dude. Actually, like I said, apparently, according to the community notes, they have these purses on these fire trucks. I don't understand this. Apparently, instead, if it's just a small little one, they don't want to pull out the hose. They just pull out these purses, apparently. So I guess this is what they're saying. So it's not a woman's handbag.
All the real equipment in Ukraine, they got to use that shit now from the 1800s.
Well, everyone's saying that, apparently. I don't know. Like I said, we're going to get into a ton of stuff as we get into this video. I'm going to show you some videos that make no sense. Something flying around in the sky. Of course, one person was like, oh, it's a helicopter, but it doesn't fly anything remotely like a helicopter. And it appears to come out of the ocean. I'll show you that. And it's in LA. So I'll show you that in a minute too. First, I'm going to mention food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 3 months worth for $5.97. You're going to definitely want to get that. Link is in the description for that. You never know what's next. You've seen what's been happening over the last few years. Definitely not what you would call normal. All right. So it's always wise to be prepared. Link is in the description. Of course, also this book here, The Lost Ways, how your great-great-grandfather lived without electricity, how to build a cellar, do things around the house like they did in the good old days. The fact is, you're going to want that book before something happens. Get the printed one. You're not going to be able to buy it at Walmart when the electricity goes out. I'm about the only person pretty much selling this from what I can tell. There's probably a few random remote websites that promote it or something, but definitely want to get this. $37 plus shipping. Get the printed version. Link is in the description. Also, of course, Gold and Silver's link below. All my other social media. I'm over on Twitter. I put videos up over there as well. Go check out my social media. Top link shows all my links to my social media. So let's get back to the video. So we have, of course, guys using purses to put out fires. Not exactly. I mean, it is a purse. It's literally called a purse by them as well. And they say that this is something that's on every fire truck. I don't know. I guess that's the case. So apparently that's what it is. It's not it's not some woman's handbag, right? And of course, what was interesting is a fireman spoke to Joe Rogan some time ago, back in July. And he said this: I talked to a fireman once. This is one of the reasons that freaked me out. And he was telling me, dude, one day it's just going to be the right wind. And the fire is going to start in the right place. And it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And apparently, maybe that time is right now. I don't know. It's looking kind of like that. Although the winds, it's not blowing the way he said, but it is definitely going everywhere. It's really kind of ridiculous. So,
and remember them drones was caught spraying stuff. Just like in Lahaina, in Hawaii, the chemicals that they be spraying on these trees and stuff cause fires. And they talking about, look at some of these fires. Like, it's targeted fires, you see what I'm saying? Who knows what they did? You know, this is pre-planned type shit.
I mean, it's pretty much prophetic right there, what he said. And you can see here from the satellite, let's see if we got a screen a little bit better, how all three of them started at the same time. Okay, let's just, I mean, this should be slowed down to really see it. So, how did all three of them start at the exact same time? I just don't understand that.
That's impossible.
Does that make sense to you? Like, how does that happen? So this one seems to be the one that started honestly, they look like they all started at the exact same time, literally. Doesn't it look like they all started at the exact same time? That just doesn't make any sense. Does that make any sense? I just don't understand how that happened. How is it that these are apparently this happens a lot. The one in Quebec, it was the same one. Was that last year? It seems like there's like numerous examples of this where you'll have them miles apart and they all start at the exact same time. I just don't understand how. And actually, one of them I saw, I had like 4 or 5 all start at the exact same time. And you're like, what? How? How? I thought it was like Smokey Bear, you know, like, oh, don't put out that campfire, you know, and it was just that one person. How is it you get 5 of them in different places all at the exact same time? I don't understand this. This apparently has happened. They have multiple satellites. I've seen other ones as well. One in Quebec, What is this one? Is this one the one in Quebec? Yeah, right here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. What is going on here? How that's not 5, that's like 50. No, it's not 50 either. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like some down here as well. How do you get these are miles apart? These are many miles apart. Look at this is what is this? This is one of the Great Lakes, isn't it? Is this one of the Great Lakes? No, this is Quebec, right? This is not one of the Great Lakes. This is I'm thinking wrong. What lake would this be? Let me look here. Quebec City maps. Let's just see what lakes around it. I mean, technically, maybe I'm right. Am I right? Well, no, it's kind of it's a little it's a ways away from one of the. It's a ways away from Toronto, and I mean, yeah, this is one of the Great Lakes here. It's a ways away from it, so it's not that. It's something else. So it's one of these other lakes in here somewhere. I just thought it was just weird. Yeah, so obviously that's pretty big. That's not like I mean, look, that's a lake, dude. That's not a pond, okay? These are miles apart. How do they all start at the exact same time? And he says across the entire province.
Look at that.
That is so weird. And this is not like a huge time lapse. Look at that. Look. Now, you can maybe understand some of these down here if they're really close, like these. But like, how are these all? I just don't get it. I mean, maybe I just don't understand. I don't understand how these trees don't go up either. Like 80% of the trees are fine and then all the buildings are gone. I don't understand that either. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But then we'll just get over to some other stuff because obviously I can't figure. Maybe you guys can comment. Some geek knows how that works, or maybe it's not what you think it is. I don't know. I'm sure people have comments about it. This was interesting. I showed this over my other channel. Something strange flying in the smoke. Let's see if I can show that on the screen. See that flying across there? That's way too fast to be a helicopter. So I've had people, oh, that's a helicopter or something like that. That's not a helicopter. That's way too fast. This is on a live feed from Fox. That's way too fast to be anything normal. I mean, even a jet wouldn't fly that fast, I don't think. I don't think a jet could fly that fast. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is about the speed of a jet. That could be a speed of the jet, I guess. I kind of doubt it, though. That looks like faster than a jet to me, even. I don't know. What do you think that is? And I got other videos like this, by the way. We got more. We even have one that looks like appears to be coming out of the ocean. Near, maybe it's Malibu. I don't know. Where is this at? It's near LA. Okay. So, but you have this picture too. This looks a little strange. I don't know what this, I guess it's just some weird visual from the LA fire. I mean, it could be whatever. It just looks strange from a distance like that. You got that one. You got this one. This one's really bizarre. I think it's right here. This little dot. It flies out of the ocean. It appears to fly out of the ocean. See that? You can see it flying up right there, flying across. Someone tried to claim this was a helicopter, but that just doesn't look like a helicopter to me. It doesn't fly like a helicopter. I guess I could be wrong, but I don't think that's a helicopter. It is kind of far away, but the way it's flying, it doesn't make sense. Okay, it just doesn't look like a helicopter's flight pattern. See, look, you can see it coming right out. Let's see, where's the start? The start is right here. It's right here, looking like it's touching the water.
I appreciate the love, family. Salute.
See it going up and across. What is that? Obviously not a jet. Obviously not a plane. A plane's not going to be flying out of the water. The only thing you could maybe come up with is a helicopter, but it doesn't seem to be flying like a helicopter. So you have a lot of these weird videos like this. There's actually more than that. I could show you maybe some more later, but there's a bunch of them around LA like this. So, of course, 47 has come out and said some rather interesting things about Gavin Newsom. Gavin doing such a great job.
Lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water.
They don't have water. They didn't do any of this pre-burn. They didn't clear the floor of the forest, whatever the proper terms are. It doesn't matter. They didn't do it. Oh no. Like they come up with some weird idea of how to save the environment, and actually in reality they just have the whole entire forest burned down instead. It makes no sense. Even Norway and Finland do it the way we're thinking you should do it, and they're all about conserving the environment. But for some reason over here we're all backwards about conserving the environment. Let's shut off the sunlight. Let's just let everything burn. It's great for the environment. I mean, these people don't make any sense. They literally make no sense. I don't understand where they get their logic from. Of course, now you have new Studio City burning. And I mean, I've seen people just like in their city nearby, like, hey, look, it's over there now. It's coming near my apartment. Wow, this is great. No water. Can't really put this stuff out. And now I'm going to show you how ridiculous this really could end up being in the end. This is from Newsweek, California Fires Live Tracker. Map of Los Angeles blazes. And indeed, this is getting really ridiculous at this point. And it looks like it could get way bigger. This purple is actually the worst area. So right now we're talking these little area. This is where it is right now. Okay. You see that? Like over here? And it's actually a little bit over here too. Now, what were all the places? Let me go find it real quick. I'm trying to remember I'm trying to keep track of where it's been and where it's going. Okay, so we have this map over here. Hearst, Lydia, Eaton, Sunset, Palisades. Right? And you got LA too. Okay, so getting back over here. So Lydia, Eaton, Sunset. All right. Let's go over here. And all right, so what do we got here? Do you have any of this stuff listed on here? You got LA, of course. Not really. So this is like kind of in this area, but you can see over here this massive amount of purple. So like it's right now, it's over here, right? It's over here. You see this massive amount of purple? This is where it says it's an extreme possibility, I think is what it's trying to say. It says here on the map, very low possibility. I'm thinking this is what it means. Very low, low, moderate, high, very high, extreme. So notice over here, going towards Phoenix, a very high potential fire spread there. That's what it's saying. Because they're talking that's what it's basically for, this map. Right? And that's so strange. So, I mean, that's kind of close by. The question is, will this somehow block it from happening right here? I don't know. It's kind of strange. So getting over here, you got wind. This is that area I was just showing you where there's lots of wind, right? Actually, no, that's not it. It's right here. This is where all the wind was that it was showing. And so you got that map. And then here you can see this is where all the fire symbols are. But there's all the wind. This is what I was talking about, all this wind here. And look, the direction of the wind. You see that? You see the wind direction? So it shows wind this direction towards that area. This is the part I was showing up above right here where it showed all the blue, which is the extreme possibility. So, this wind goes all different directions, okay? And I can show it right here. You see the wind's all over the place. For some reason, over here, it starts going this direction. So this wind's blowing all different directions. Apparently, it's got a swirl here. And apparently, according to the other map over here, when you zoom in, let me show you this down here. Maybe the wind just keeps changing directions. I don't know. You can see here how it says well, I guess it could be just the wind symbol, but they said the possibility of it being over here, they said up here, right here where they said it's purple, right? So it could be also just a sideways thing where like the fire is kind of coming down and then it just kind of spreads sideways because you got some of these angles going this way sometimes. Perhaps this might block it though, because it's kind of on an angle that way. I don't know. So you never know. It may or may not go that direction. According to these guys, they're putting a probability of extreme right here. So whatever that means, maybe they know more than I do, or we're not reading this right or something. But it's kind of hard to read anyways. But you get the idea. So you got all that, and so that's going on with all that stuff. We have, of course, all these insurance policies that were canceled. This is from Newsweek as well. California insurer canceled policies months before. Apparently, there's a lot of them. It's not just State Farm, I don't think, because I keep hearing more and more stories in this realm. Because they just say in this article hundreds of homeowner policies, but I know it's a lot more than that, actually, because I keep seeing other people saying this, and even famous actors and actresses coming out saying that their policies were canceled just before this. And it apparently is because they had financial failure. This is what State Farm was claiming, State Farm Insurance. But there are a number of famous people also that had their home affected and are gone, actually. Hollywood stars among those lost homes. Apparently a number of them. Mandy Moore, Paris Hilton, Billy Crystal, all in Palisades, apparently. And there's a lot of other ones too, from what I understand. So that's just a few. From what I could tell, there's a lot more. And of course, also we have, what does this say? Home structures in the thousands are burned in Palisades. So it's going everywhere. And the question is it going to be able to be stopped before it goes more the other direction? That's what I'm kind of wondering. And I showed this video over on my other channel right here. This was kind of a crazy video surrounding their house in Palisades. In the wind, you can hear it in a second here. Blowing embers much farther away. In the process,
we have a suspect. A suspect has been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with the Kenneth fire. Fires are burning all over Los Angeles, major fires, and we have a suspect right here. Let me give you some information on what's going on with this guy. Who is this guy? Who's the arson suspect? Check it out.
What we know right now is that the incident started here, and about 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills area by citizens.
So someone purposely set the Kenneth fire?
At this time, that's what we believe, yes.
Do you know how or why they did that?
That I don't know.
Is this a crime scene right now?
Yes.
So everything's closed off?
It's being investigated as a crime.
We were sort of wondering why there are so many police out here. Obviously, this is a fire scene, and we've been at fire scenes for the last couple of days, and it didn't really make a lot of sense that more and more LAPD were showing up, and then the crime scene unit also being out here. So we spoke to the lead officer in charge, who you saw there, and he was very open about it. He said that they believe the Kenneth fire, which is the latest fire to start here in LA, now at 900 acres, give or take, they believe that someone did intentionally set it, that this is now officially an arson investigation. He said this whole area behind me, the canyon behind me, they're calling now a crime scene, and that they have a person in custody, detained, who they are questioning. Apparently someone in the area may have seen something. Now someone is in custody. But when you think about what has gone on,
of this transmission. Incident command, Commander 21, boy. Maybe up to 20, might be a little bit less than is that correct?
Yeah. In wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Now, the question is, who is this guy right here? Some people speculate he could be in the country illegally. Imagine that. Other people suspect there is a group of arsonists out there that are purposely setting fires so people can evacuate. And then when the people evacuate, they go in there and loot people's homes and take things from people's homes because the homes are empty. You know, when these fires are being set all over Los Angeles area, people's alarms and alerts are getting set off on their phones. And they just mass panic and jump into vehicles and flee the area. At that point, opportunists go in there and start breaking in these people's homes because they know they won't be back for a while. There's some fishy things going on in the Los Angeles area. Now, other fires, Palisades, right? Eaton Fire. Wonder how they started. Are they were they created from arsonists too? Remains to be seen. Authorities have been giving out press conferences saying that arson investigators are investigating all the fires, it looks like. Could this guy set up other fires? Could this guy, was he in the process of setting up another fire? Setting another fire off? Good Samaritans got this guy. Good Samaritans. It's going to take good Samaritans to keep these arsonists off the streets. Subscribe to the channel, like, hit the notification button. Continuous coverage of the fires, the devastation. Billions of dollars in damage. Biggest fire in California history, Los Angeles area. Might be the biggest in California history when all said and done. It's not over yet, folks. Also, National Guard is coming in, curfews, police force, wild stuff. Thousands and thousands of people without homes, 5,000 structures burnt. Gas prices are going up, right? Price gouging at hotels, crime, Los Angeles. What a mess. What a mess. We'll talk soon. Stay tuned.
I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. This might be the worst fire I've ever seen. And I mean, just the way that it keeps spreading. Here we are. What is it? Day number 3, day number 4 now? It feels like it's already been an eternity because it feels like every minute that goes by is like an hour, and you're hoping that you get some good news. You're hoping that you see the flames extinguished, but every time I check the news, it's like a new fire here, a new fire there. And as of right now, the death toll is at 5, which it sucks that anyone lost their life at all. You know, one life is enough, but I think that right now the death toll is relatively low compared to the amount of absolute destruction. Thousands of homes are gone. Not hundreds, thousands of homes are gone. Businesses gone. Entire areas leveled. It looks like it got hit by a nuclear bomb. Nothing left. And in the midst of all the madness, there are looters and robbers out here rummaging through the rubble. Some of the more wealthy people have hired private security teams that are running around, getting into clashes with looters and robbers. New fires are beginning to pop up all over the place. It's just like something straight out of the end of days.
If the looters don't go take them safes out of those rich homes, the motherfucking fire department, all the people, they definitely gonna steal that shit. Apocalyptic situation like this is just bound to happen. Survival instincts kicking in, people thinking about they were just poor and they finna go rob the rich. Hey,
These folks, really wild, really sad stuff. I mean, my heart literally breaks for these people. I got to a point last night where I got kind of, you know, when you're someone who covers stories like I do, you kind of just try not to get too deeply attached, right? But I just couldn't help but get emotional last night, looking at some of the footage and the videos and just looking at the absolute destruction, because you can feel how you want to feel about the politics and stuff like that in California. California is still a beautiful place with a lot of beautiful people. And regardless if I disagree with these people on some things, you know, obviously I don't disagree with all of them on everything, but even though there's people there that you might disagree with, I don't think anyone deserves to go through what people are going through right now, right? But as I'm looking at this story, I can't help but think about the warning that I put out there right at the beginning of the year. You know, the new year started off really crazy, and here we are. It's been almost, a little over a week, and it's just been nonstop craziness. Of course, on the 1st of January, hours after the ball drops, as people are still out celebrating the new year, we had that attack in New Orleans. By the time you figured out any information about what happened in New Orleans, you were waking up to the news that you had another crazy situation with the Cybertruck blowing up outside of Trump Tower. Now, when I saw those two stories happen so closely together, I put out a warning that the sleeper cells in this country have been activated. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you don't know, we have a lot of people from foreign countries that don't like us. We have sleeper cell operatives. We have soldiers coming from enemy countries that are coming here illegally. They're pouring across our border. They're spreading throughout the United States, and they're just waiting for the orders to strike. Now, when I saw those two crazy events happen on the 1st, so close to one another, I told you all that I think that maybe the sleeper cells have been given the green light. A lot of the people who have been here, maybe they came here illegally, or maybe they were born here and they got radicalized by some sort of ideology. A lot of these people are lying in wait, just waiting for the order to do something crazy, right? You got people coming here from China already spying on all of our military bases with drones, a few of which have been arrested recently. So I said that, hey, we got sleeper cells in this country, and it looks like, 2025 was kind of like the green light, the go-ahead to start carrying out some of these crazy acts. Now, when I saw the fires in California, of course, fires happen in California. Maybe it's a natural wildfire, right? But then I started looking into things, and there were a lot of firsthand accounts of people seeing people starting fires. There's videos out there floating online right now of what appears to be people starting fires. In the midst of all the madness, there are people out there trying to make this worse. Now, are these random junkies off the streets? Are these random bozos? Are these random idiots? Are these people who have been radicalized to the left and they want to prove that climate change is real, so they're starting fires and stuff? I don't know what's going through these people's heads, but it made me think of, oh wait, let me heed my own warning. Let me remember my own warning about these sleeper cells. Now, you may be hearing this and you may be thinking, oh, this is far-fetched. There's no sleeper cell agents from foreign countries in America causing fires and destruction. Well, I would argue that there definitely is, and we know that for a fact. Like, this is not up for debate. Now, we can debate over what has caused the fires in California, and to be clear, I am not here to tell you that sleeper cells or arsonists or anyone caused these fires. For all we know, maybe we're getting the truth. Maybe this all started in someone's backyard. But as the fires continue to pop up, we're continuing to hear firsthand accounts from people who are seeing really shady things happen. And I've been listening to the police scanners. And just yesterday, it came across, the police got a call that a group of men, all wearing ski masks, they are riding around LA on little mopeds, starting fires. You heard me right. Police have gotten calls from people claiming that they are seeing small groups of people riding around on mopeds, wearing ski masks, covering up their faces, and they're going around lighting fires around LA. Now, that's some scary stuff. And when I heard it, I automatically remembered, oh, yeah, the sleeper cell warning. For all we know, these are sleeper cells that have been, activated to make the situation worse. They could have even possibly started the situation. But before I go any further, I want you to listen to the dispatch audio so you understand this is not me just making stuff up. No, this is what's going on in LA, people. You're not going to hear this on the regular news, so you have to hear it here. But let's go ahead and roll this police scanner audio. Then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
All units, information only on possible arson suspects. 3506 Berry Drive. Seen about an hour ago. Suspects were 5 male unknown small builds wearing ski masks, black clothing on small mopeds. Incident 3603 under 1595.
I was just explaining in one of my prior videos that not everything has to be a conspiracy theory. I think we've almost been trained in this country to automatically look at everything from that angle because we don't trust anyone. We don't trust the media. We don't trust our politicians. We don't trust anyone. We definitely don't trust that we're getting the truth because we're not getting the truth about basically anything. So why would they tell us the truth about this? I get the mentality. But also, you got to remain grounded and understand that things happen, right? Things naturally happen. Fires happen. But when you hear dispatch audio like this, when you hear rumblings of groups of men riding around in ski masks starting fires, it makes you really wonder. And then there's several videos out there of shady stuff going down. I shared one of the videos in my past video. Go check it out if you haven't already. So all I'm saying here is, yeah, I do think that we should also take a grounded approach and understand that things happen. But I do think we've reached a point where we have enough evidence to, at the very least, consider that, yeah, maybe arson is to blame for at least some of these fires that are popping up. My opinion, I think that the fires probably started by accident and they spread due to the incompetence of the people running LA. They ain't got enough water circulating in this area. They aren't watering the vegetation as much as they should. They haven't been doing the controlled burns that they should. They haven't been taking care of the forest floor. They haven't been taking care of the brush. They haven't been taking care of the shrubbery. They haven't been doing their job. And that's why California started burning. But I do think there are bad actors out there that are taking advantage of an already horrific situation, and they may be making it worse for whatever their agenda is. Is their agenda just to destroy? Have they been hired by someone to be here to help destroy America? Or are they just robbers and looters who want to take advantage of robbing and looting more neighborhoods that are burning to the ground? There could be multiple agendas behind it, but at this point, we have to look at arson because I think that we have enough evidence. We got video proof. We got people calling 911 all throughout the day reporting these situations. Yet I don't hear much about this on the news. And it's kind of frustrating because this is something very important. The people of LA, the people of California need to be on the lookout for stuff like this. And when you see it, you need to record it and you need to call the authorities. You need to do what you got to do before your home is burning down next. And I think a valuable lesson that we can learn from California is that we can no longer depend on our government. We can't depend on the fire department. We can't depend on anyone. In certain situations, you got to band together and try to fix things yourself. And that's why you see a lot of people in California, they're staying in their neighborhoods and they're fighting the fires their damn selves because the fire department's budget has been cut by millions of dollars and they don't got enough firefighters to fight the fires because they've refused to hire straight white males because they have a new DEI diversity program. And they fired off half the firefighters during the beer bug because they wouldn't get the jab. So it's a very crazy situation in California, a situation that unfortunately hasn't gotten any better at the time of this recording. And we won't know the true amount. We won't know, the true.
Transfer of wealth in American history, just like Maui, where, of course, paychecks were handed out to people, property owners, for their homes, for people who lived there for generations. Walk away from your homes for good. Constitutional lawyer Lionel Nation just posted this a short time ago, and this is what's about to happen, folks. He says, out of nowhere, you will now see throngs and hordes of anonymous investors handing out checks in return for quitclaim deeds. This will be the fastest and most accelerated transfer of wealth you have ever seen. Now, this reminds me, and I was thinking about this after Jack Prosopiak posted this, and I was like, wait a second, he's absolutely right. If you've never seen the movie Chinatown, fantastic movie, Jack Nicholson, 1974. Literally, he says, this is the entire plot of Chinatown. It's about the California water wars and how corrupt bureaucrats, predatory elites intentionally dump water into the ocean to create an artificial drought to devalue land so they could buy it all up. It's exactly what's happening here. Truth is stranger than fiction, though.
Always.
Sometimes. I mean, just look at some of these images, though, just to get a sense of 100-mile-an-hour winds, which have now died down significantly in most areas. Take a look at this. I mean, this is what firefighters are dealing with. It's you can't stop this.
No, that's an apocalyptic hell.
So as soon as you get this one blaze under control, all of those sparks have just gone about 20, 30 feet down the road and into another building, into another structure on fire. Take a look at this drone footage now coming in over the Pacific Palisades. It's gone. And if you want to understand the size and scope of this, think of the Manhattan, okay, the size of Manhattan. And then add another 3,000 acres on top of the size of Manhattan, totally wiped out. All of New York City entirely destroyed. And then add on top of that another 3,000 acres. And that's what you're dealing with here with the amount of homes and businesses, schools, churches, everything destroyed in these areas. Let's just go through some of the numbers, shall we? So these are some of the latest numbers just into us here. Thousands of homes, of course. The Palisades fire specifically burned 17,000 acres. Numerous homes, businesses, landmarks in the Pacific Palisades, westward along the Pacific Coast Highway. It's kind of amazing to look at the Pacific Coast Highway as kind of like a fire break. On the one side, devastation. It just hops right over the highway down in some of those multi-million-dollar homes. And then you have the ocean right there.
Yeah.
In the Pacific Ocean. And
literally the only thing that could stop it.
Yeah, the only thing is the Pacific Ocean. A lot of people wondering, like, why can't we use the water from that? Well, the desalinization process, of course, has been shut down in California. So they haven't built the additional desalinization process. But go ahead, Philip.
If you start dumping salt water all over everything, you're going to kill the vegetation for a long time. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Decades, and it'll destroy all of their equipment. So you can't just like stick hoses into the ocean, and start shooting it through their equipment. It'll destroy their equipment as well. So it's not the answer. Of course, building additional reservoir structures and additional water towers has been the answer. We'll get to that in a minute. But let me just go through the rest of these numbers here. So the Eaton fire, this is 0% contained, 10,600 acres. Altadena, we saw, in Altadena and Pasadena now dealing with almost total devastation in those areas as well. The Sunset Fire, which of course came over the canyon and down the hillside, 42 acres, triggered mandatory evacuations in Hollywood and Hollywood Hills area. And the Hearst Fire, 855 acres has been burned and destroyed. Take a look at Elaine from Seinfeld, Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Here's her house.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
And this is just a common refrain among celebrities, James Woods, other, very popular actors, Billy Crystal, homes destroyed.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony
Silence of the
Hopkins.
Lambs.
Yeah.
Not Anthony Perkins. He's dead.
No, yeah,
Yes.
he's dead, and he did not die in this fire. The disaster has reportedly displaced tens of thousands of people, 28,000 acres, left more than 340,000 residents right now without power, killed 5 civilians that we know of. Although LA County Sheriff saying we don't know the total number of people dead. You actually the Weather Channel was just showing off footage of a house. We're not going to show it to you. They were just showing off footage of a house. And they were just panning across the ashes, of this house, thinking, oh, it's just a house. And right in the front of the footage is a skeleton, just right there in the footage. Like, who knows how many people were caught in this and decided to stay and didn't heed evacuation warnings, or maybe didn't receive evacuation warnings, text messages sent to their cell phones. Who knows? Now, 600 National Guard members, 7,500 first responders are on the scene. 1,100 fire engines, many of them coming up against empty fire hydrants that they can't tap any water at all. And of course, take a look at this fire break. This is the Pacific Coast Highway here. This is not far. From where you and I both lived. I lived in Redondo Beach, and it's at one point way back.
I lived in Santa Monica, which is right near the Palisades, right on the border of that town.
So that's PCH right there, Pacific Coast Highway, and you can see it just came right down the hill, scorched everything in its path. Total destruction. And then the only other thing on the other side there is the Pacific Ocean and these multi-million-dollar homes in certain sections. So, oh my God, just look at this driving there. So the mayor, Karen Bass, got back from Ghana, where she sent a press release while she was in Ghana, basically vacationing, enjoying her downtime there while her city burned. So she arrived at the airport. An intrepid reporter managed to get a hold of her and throw a series of questions at her. And she stands there next to her like press person or whatever in this hallway waiting to be let out. It kind of reminds me of like Alfred Bourla from Pfizer when he was like confronted at, was it Davos or one of those World Economic Forum?
Yes.
And the reporter just kept asking him questions. I think it was from Rebel News, just kept asking him questions. And they walked for like 10 minutes. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So here she is stuck in like an airport exit she can't get out of. And he's asking her these questions and she says nothing. Watch.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
Embarrassing.
Will you resign?
Is she even there? You know what this reminds me of? No. When I was pregnant, I took a class in hypnobirthing where they try and teach you because you're in such trauma to like float above yourself like you're not there because it's so stinking hard. That I think she's practicing hypnobirthing.
She's in hypnobirthing.
She's not there. Like her soul has floated out of her body.
She was doing Lamaze breathing. She's like, oh my God, get me out of this.
This is real trauma. I'm not here.
I'm not here. I can't answer any questions at all at my designated time when I'm in front of a podium and someone has written out something for me. That's when I will read it. Firefighters, of course, the main question here is why is there no water? Why has water run out? Why were these policies in place that didn't allow us to build additional water towers? Yes, we get the whole gravity thing. Gravity going up a hill into these higher elevations, difficult because if so many of these taps are turned on and being used simultaneously to put out these fires, there's not enough of it. Well, the problem is you cut money. So the money could have been there. People wanted it. We had these things in place to build these additional reservoirs and additional water towers. So your policies failed. Here was MSNBC, liberal MSNBC, admitting they had little to no water at all when these fire trucks pulled up at these fire hydrants. Watch.
We saw an apartment building engulfed in flames. I saw the fire engine pull up this afternoon. A fire captain have one of his firefighters attach a hose to a hydrant, and that hose didn't fill up, Alex. And I asked the captain, out of every 10 hydrants you attach to today, on average, how many are you getting full water from? He says little to none. And it was at that point that really the whole crew stopped, looked up at this apartment building, and they realized there was nothing they could do except
watch it burn. Yep, no water. Sorry, we can't do our jobs. And then, of course, the liberal media in California is basically trying to cover up for this disaster and trying to protect these Democrat politicians, just like the good liberal media lapdogs that they are. So let me just set the context for you here. You have Caruso, of course, who's a multi-billion-dollar Democrat land developer, real estate developer in California, ran against Karen Bass for the mayor of Los Angeles, lost to her, was on Fox News talking about how these firefighters have no water. And then they come back on air and this news anchor corrects Caruso, saying, we have not heard at all about any here at our, the Fox local affiliate here. We've not heard any instances where firefighters don't have water. And then watch as they go to the field and they toss to one of their reporters for on the ground reporting and just completely undercuts everything that he just said. Watch this. It's unbelievable.
Former LA mayoral candidate and real estate developer Rick Caruso criticizing the city's response to the windstorm and fires. He says officials should have been more prepared.
The real issue to me is twofold. We've had decades to go remove the brush in these hills that spread so quickly. And the second is you got to have water. And my understanding is the reservoir was not refilled in time and in a timely manner to keep the hydrants going. So that's a failure, whether on DWP's part or another city agency. But this is basic stuff. This isn't high science here. And it's all about leadership and management that we're seeing a failure of. And all of these residents are paying the ultimate price for that.
Despite what you have heard from Caruso, no firefighters have told us that they are running out of water.
And let's go out to Gigi Graciette. She is live in Pacific Palisades. I know your signal's not the best, but Gigi, what can you tell us?
Well, firefighters have told me they have no water on this block, and you may be able to make out the ember storm that we're in the middle of right now. This house going to be a total loss. They have no water to put on this fire. They are standing by because they're trying to save the home that is next to it.
We want to be clear. We have heard that no one has told us.
This.
No one has told us that we have no water. Gigi, what do you? They've told me that we have no water.
Well, I'm not hearing that.
I can't hear you.
I don't hear that, and I don't
Sorry.
want to hear that. So I will continue to say that I'm not hearing
I'm
that.
having some interference.
Breaking up. I can't hear.
That's ridiculous.
Your signal is bad. Back to you, effers.
By the way, I just little note of privilege here. This is my father's business, is green waste recycling. Towns remove dead shrubbery and brush and forestry and send it to his recycling business in California, where he recycles it in what's called a tub grinder and sells it as compost, mulch. And so cities do pay for this. This was a booming business when he bought into it in the early 90s, but he has seen more municipalities pull back on this because of liberal policies and because a lot of environmentalist opposition who don't understand it. So this is something that I absolutely understand. Cities do this. They are supposed to be doing this. You can go to, I'm just going to tell you, visionrecycling.com is my father's green waste recycling business. It's a thing. I just want to tell you that this is something that municipalities know they have to do. I'll just stop it.
Yeah, cleaning up the brush. So
we've seen it in action.
And so all of the finger pointing, of course, from Democrats right now is about how, Donald Trump is the bad guy here. And Gavin Newsom last night basically saying, I'm going to point fingers at Donald Trump. He's trying to politicize this right now. We're out here fighting for people's lives and helping people's homes right now. Anderson Cooper interviewed Gavin Newsom and asked him about the water issue. And he just basically threw up his hands. He's like, that's not my field. I have nothing to do with the water and the hydrants. Watch.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades, ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local.
Yeah. or the voters who voted for additional water resources, 10 years ago now? Not 2014, 2014?
For decades, Californians have been voted for better water management.
Right. And the water bond issue, they set aside billions for it, for this particular situation. And of course, so the Babylon Bee satirical website, of course, posted this: Gavin Newsom demands answers from who's ever in charge of California.
I liked their other one that said he plans to tax the fires.
Right.
He's going to put taxes on them until he gets answers as well.
I mean, Donald Trump has been hammering this since 2019, even earlier than that in tweets. And here we are, just as an example, Donald Trump saying this: Governor of California Newsom has done a terrible job of forest management. When Natalie was just talking about cleaning out the brush, I told him from the first day we met that he must clean his forest floors, regardless of what his bosses or the environmentalists tell him to do. Gavin Newsom says, "You don't believe in climate change? You are excused from this conversation." Okay, so it's climate change, really? There's no evidence of that whatsoever. It's very clear that this is because of additional brush near power lines in these forests that haven't been cleaned up.
And let's talk about the phrasing that's being used right now in the media, is that this is the most destructive fire in Los Angeles history, or what the Los Angeles Times called this morning, in recent memory. When they say that, they can take the dollar amount of the property that was there. So this is what Bjorn Lundberg calls widening the target, I believe, is because this same magnitude of fire happens cyclically in California, and it's worse when there are drought years. But because there are now so many people living there, so much industrial building, that's why we can put such a high value on the damage. So you can't necessarily blame that on any climate change. This is new conditions that humans have created, and it's not that we are to blame, but this is the consequence. The same reason, the same way that we can put these high dollar numbers on big hurricanes, there's more there.
Well, there's more.
It's called widening the bullseye.
There's more people living there. There's more homes in that region, which
at
is
a
why
higher value, right?
Which is why they voted for these additional water resources, which we've been talking about here on the show for years now. Additional water resources to make sure that they are protected. Additional water towers, so you don't run out for these hydrants, where only 3 houses can be dealt with in a fire situation, where you can have multiple backups that would have alleviated this problem. The New York Times yesterday published this. I thought this was hilarious. Here's their headline: in California, controlled fires can save homes. Why aren't more happening? Oh, the New York Times is admitting that these intentional burns would reduce the risk of wildfires and should be done. Well, wait a minute. Environmentalists have said, wait a second, you can't do controlled burns because all of that additional CO2 into the atmosphere is going to screw. Well, now you really effed yourselves, because now you've admitted that that's possible. In fact, I spoke to someone yesterday who is an expert in fire management. He's a consultant to companies to cities to go and test their soil, test their fire hazard, and give them advice on how to remove it. And he said they tried to do controlled burns in Paradise, California. The residents had such a fit that they shut it down. So there's this lack of understanding from environmentalists who just say, oh no, carbon's bad. They don't actually study. Liberals don't study. No, they don't. And they hope you will. They hope they go with emotion instead of facts. By the way, just I was pointing out the New York Times piece there for a second. I just want to show you this. So if you go to the New York Times website, and they push you to try to subscribe,
which we refuse.
I refuse to subscribe. But listen, look what they put at the top of their thing here for the New York Times: support independent journalism.
That is rich.
Independent journalism. I about fell out of my freaking chair when I saw this today. I couldn't believe.
Did they independently sell us the Iraq War? Which independent person did that? Did they independently decide to go with Crossfire Hurricane and not independently verify it? That's so great.
They are mouthpieces of the intelligence state. They are paid for by the intelligence state. Go ahead, Philip.
I'm just like, who the hell do they think the mainstream media is then? If they're like, well, who does that leave?
The Washington Post. Democracy dies in darkness. Yeah. Support independent journalism at the New York Times. Okay. Here's an independent journalist just like us. Here's Michael Schellenberger. So Michael Schellenberger says, get ready, everyone, because you're going to start to hear the cover up around all of these failed liberal policies. The liberal media is going to blame it on climate change. They're going to push all of these narratives a certain way. Listen to how he says, get ready for what's coming.
Hey, everybody, it's Mike Schellenberger for Public. Over the next few weeks, you're going to hear Governor Gavin Newsom, Mayor Karen Bass, and the Democratic Party tell you that there's nothing that could have been done to prevent the catastrophic fires from ravaging Los Angeles. Those will be lies. They could have prevented them. Governor Gavin Newsom cut the funding for preventing forest fires and failed to build sufficient water resources for fighting fires. Mayor Karen Bass cut $17.5 million in funding for the Los Angeles Fire Department and then went to Ghana, even though she knew of the risk of catastrophic fires. Now, it's true that California in general, and Los Angeles in particular, are fiery places. And it's true that Santa Ana winds made the fires worse. But Newsom and Bass have known about those hazards for all of their careers and failed to deal with them. The rank incompetence, the lack of leadership is shocking and scandalous. It's hard to overstate how badly they screwed up water management in particular.
So water management in particular, and this is where, of course, all of the focus should be right now. The things that voters voted for and using tax. Where's that money, by the way? Like all of that money that you've set aside for this and you've not spent it because liberals won't allow it to be spent, even though voters voted for it, specifically these water towers, right? So yes, gravity is a big issue here. This is the whole story about gravity, how water tower works. Height equals pressure, right? So how many of these can we build on hillsides? How many can we use? And if all of these taps are turned on simultaneously, then guess what? We don't have enough, but these should have been refilled. Water management would have allowed these to be refilled and additional ones built so you wouldn't have had this issue. New ones built, extra backup so this doesn't happen, and refilled. They get refilled at nighttime. So when they're being used up, then they'd be refilled. These should have all been filled. And they weren't. So firefighters showing up, finding out that there's no water. And then we'll end with this here. They had to use canvas handbags. These are not like ladies' handbags, but these are actual canvas handbags. Firefighters are having to take, instead of the fire hydrants, they're having to fill up these canvas handbags at their trucks, and then run over to like this. It's like something out of like 1800s. Like something you'd see like in Baltimore in 1825.
In the highest tax state in the union.
Yes.
We've gone back to
what they're
bucket
resorting
brigades.
to.
Yes, hand me a bucket, hand it down the line, and then we'll pour it on the fire. And, those didn't really work at all, of course, and everything would burn down. So that's what we're back to now, bucket brigades in California. The countdown is on before the new administration exposes the entire pandemic. Most know that a large sum of people's health was negatively impacted by global coercion, whether severe side effects or experiencing long COVID. Check out this natural solution formulated by our friend, Dr. Peter McCullough, one of the excellent doctors in this country. He was banned, censored, and all sorts of slander against him, in collaboration with the wellness company. And they just leveled up on their original detox formula for $30 less. Introducing the 3-in-1 Ultimate Spike Detox, conveniently consolidated into one capsule with 4x more milligrams. And all of these things that I can't pronounce. Nattokinase, bromelain, turmeric root extract. I can pronounce that one. So it's all in there. Nattokinase is an enzyme research for its anti-clotting effects, may work to break down spike proteins combined with bromelain and curcumin. My gosh, so many things that I can't pronounce. It provides a potent blend for detoxification and cellular support, crafted with 100% natural ingredients. Ultimate Spike Detox is backed by research, offering effective support for your cells' natural repair and recovery. Experience the only formula that's approved and used by our friend Dr. Peter McCullough, a top freedom-fighting doctor who risked it all and was highly, highly censored. Head over to twc.health/redacted. Use the code redacted to get 10% off plus free shipping. Again, that's it. Use the code redacted. Go to twc.health/redacted to get 10% off.
All right. Well, did Donald Trump just drop his true feelings about the Israeli regime of Benjamin Netanyahu? President Trump posted a video of Columbia professor Jeffrey Sachs as he was sharply criticizing Netanyahu for leading the United States into endless wars for the last several decades. Color me surprised. Sachs is, in my opinion, and I think we shared on this show, is one of the most informed anti-war voices on the Middle East and Ukraine as well. And it's rare to see leaders reference him. So I'd like you to watch the 2-minute bit that President Trump posted, and then we'll see what we can surmise what might be the foreign policy of the incoming Trump administration.
The war in Syria, and you may actually hear from grown-up reporters who are lying through their teeth or ignorant beyond imagining that, oh, the war in Syria, yes, Russia intervened in Syria. Well, do you know that that Obama tasked the CIA to overthrow the Syrian government, starting 4 years before Russia intervened? What kind of nonsense is that? And how many times did the New York Times report on Operation Timber Sycamore, which was the presidential order to the CIA to overthrow Bashar al-Assad? 3 times in 10 years. This is not democracy. This is a game. And it's a game of narrative. Why did the U.S. invade Iraq in 2003? Well, first of all, it was completely phony pretenses. It wasn't, oh, we were so wrong, they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They actually did focus groups in the fall of 2002 to find out what would sell that war to the American people. Abe Schultzky, if you want to know the name of the PR genius. They did focus groups on the war. They wanted the war all the time. They had to figure out how to sell the war to the American people, how to scare the shit out of the American people. It was a phony war. Where did that war come from? You know what? It's quite surprising. That war came from Netanyahu, actually. You know that? It's weird. And the way it is that Netanyahu had from 1995 onward the theory that the only way we're going to get rid of Hamas and Hezbollah is by toppling the governments that support them. That's Iraq, Syria, and Iran. And the guy's nothing if not obsessive. And he's still trying to get us to fight Iran this day, this week. He's a deep, dark son of a bitch, sorry to tell you, because he's gotten us into endless wars, and because of the power of all of this in the U.S. politics, he's gotten his way. But that war was totally phony. So what is this democracy versus dictatorship? Come on. These are not even sensible.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And find the lie. Tell me the lie.
There's no lie. Everyone who
No.
watches our show understands that.
You
that's
know
the
about
truth.
the PR campaign to sell us the Iraq war. We've gone over
Yes.
that at length. You know that Israel is behind our attack on Iran's nuclear program. They, in fact, helped us launch that cyber weapon. You know this. You should already know this. What's amazing is to know that now Donald Trump knows this because, you know, we're all guessing because he said many times he's a great friend to Israel. He said that Hamas better release those hostages or he'll release hell on them. He said certain things that are maybe incongruent with someone who wants the war to end and not to continue to support Israel. So now on his own feed, he's acknowledging that Netanyahu is a war criminal. Incidentally, the House just passed a bill to sanction anybody who will justify what the ICC is doing in trying to arrest Netanyahu. So a new law in Congress is protecting Netanyahu, but that may not be the appetite of the incoming president. So that is very interesting. Could it be that he has real anti-war advisors, the incoming president? Incidentally, Netanyahu has reportedly canceled his plans to attend the inauguration on January 20th because he recently had prostate surgery and was told not to travel.
Oh, okay.
That's what they say.
So he's not coming to Trump's inauguration now.
It's up his...
Interesting.
You
Someone
know?
had his finger up his... Yeah, it's interesting because, well, one of the big criticisms right now of the incoming Trump administration and cabinet is that every one of them is pro-Zionist. Everyone is a pro, you know, is like an Israel first choice right now. And so there's been a lot of criticism about that, not just on this show, but of many of our guests, of course. And former Trump administration officials, by the way, who've told me privately that you can't, it seems like, be America first and be a part of Trump's cabinet. You have to be Israel first to be a part of Trump's cabinet.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of a shocking thing from Trump to post this video.
With no context, though, with no context. So it either means Jeffrey Sachs is about to be arrested or he feels this way, right? So hopefully it's closer to the latter.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Hey, there was a lot of palace intrigue today at Jimmy Carter's funeral, of course, laying the former president to rest with a big church ceremony, of course. Gerald Ford Jr.'s son, Gerald Ford Jr. speaking, others, of course, eulogizing the former president, Jimmy Carter. And so this was interesting moments. You see Kamala Harris walking in here with Doug Emhoff, and they just got the total cold shoulder. I mean, Barack Obama almost didn't even acknowledge her. They didn't really acknowledge at all. Donald Trump didn't. Bush didn't. No one. It was like we're not even going to acknowledge your presence there. And you can just see her sort of sitting there. I'm going to rifle through this. But notice Trump and notice Obama and Trump sort of having a nice, friendly conversation. He makes some jokes at one point. Even the New York Post brought in a lip reader about it, but you can see Barack Obama like laughing at certain points, and he's making jokes, and he, smiles. And then Kamala Harris like looks back in kind of disgust, like, I can't believe you guys are being jovial and enjoying yourselves and talking right now. It's a remarkable sort of moment.
Yeah.
What was the
according to the New York Post, Obama says Trump told Obama they need to find a quiet place to discuss a matter of importance. And he says, meet me later in the foyer, which is the foyer of a certain place. Some are saying, Trump leaned over to Obama and said, I've pulled out of that. It's the conditions. Can you believe it? So some kind of inside deal. Some are saying they're actually talking about something in public in code.
Yeah, watch
this. I don't know what that would be. Yeah, let's watch.
This is the close-up of it, so take a look. You can see here.
President Obama there, elected in 2008, served 2 terms, and then yielded there to President Donald Trump.
Laughing, having a joke, having a good old time. Here was CNN even admits, actually, this is pretty remarkable because President Biden hates Kamala Harris, and this has been widely reported, of course. So here's President Biden, and CNN actually admits how frosty this relationship was. Watch this.
Started the year as the would-be Democratic presidential nominee, and we all know what happened after that. Again, you didn't see a particularly warm greeting between the first couple and the second couple, but again, we are at a funeral, so one has to take that into account when trying to read the body language of the individuals there.
So it's, she was cast aside. It's just interesting to see that back and forth and sort of conversation with Trump and Obama there. Let us know your thoughts on that. They do, in fact, hate each other, but her like looking back over at Obama, like, I can't believe you're talking to Trump right now, because he was the orchestrator of it all. And it's interesting to see those guys. This is the end of the Obama era. Make no mistake about it. So what you're watching, it's almost like a funeral for the end of the Obama-Biden era. Also, we're sort of laying to rest the Obama-Biden era as we lay Jimmy Carter to rest.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn about how they should behave in public, because I think that you should behave jovial towards people that respectful towards everybody. Then again, Obama killed so many people that it's, so many people are like, Obama, you can't talk to Trump. He's literally Hitler. I feel a little bit about like, how would I behave around Barack Obama, knowing how many people in the Middle East whose death he caused?
Hey, Mr. President, nice to meet you. I know you've killed a lot of people, but I'm going to shake your hand and say hello. I'm moving along.
You saw that Trump is there a way to be respectful towards everybody, even if you feel this way? That's just something that I don't know, how, that's why I'm not a politician, because I feel a little bit more like some of the memes around Melania is like, if your woman is acting unforgiving around people who wronged you, she's not the one, because Melania seems very loyal. She cannot fake it around these people.
Well, can we put up that video again then, Philip? Because you notice, can you guys tell me who's missing from this?
Michelle?
Well, there you go. Yeah. So, there's Michelle is missing from that event. And according to reports, now, Jack Persobiak posted this. I don't know,
Look at Melania's face, though, because it's awesome.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Jack Persobiak published a report a short time ago, and I haven't confirmed this independently. He says that they are on the outs, that it wasn't that she wasn't invited, is that why wouldn't Michelle Obama be invited to a Democrat presidential funeral? Of course she was. It's, according to him, that they are on the outs. They are on the outs, according to multiple people close to the president. Okay. So I haven't independently confirmed that, but it's interesting that she's not at a presidential funeral. They don't come up very often. What's more important than a presidential funeral?
Yeah. Maybe she had the stomach.
Where do you have
coffee? Follow me.